Thank you for tuning in to the 820 station today. Broadcasting to you live from Santa Fe, New Mexico. In the travels that I've been on for the past few days, stopping along the way just to stop and give you a fresh, off the presses dispatch on resilience from other than the studio in my house. All right, let's get into it today. But if you got a chance, get a chance. I encourage you to visit Santa Fe. And in fact, to visit the state of New Mexico. It is so wonderfully vast and rich in color and culture, in nature. Not just stuff to do or things to buy. Just things to witness. Not as cluttered as the big cities in the country. But I highly recommend you take the time to visit. And I'm being biased here, Albuquerque, Las Cruces, and Santa Fe. There are others, but I recommend you check those out. Anyway, today's discussion is about this Lord's Prayer. No, not me. I'm not a Lord, but this Lord's Prayer. Most of us who have been around for a few years of consciousness or even subconsciousness, we probably can remember those words and prayers we had to recite and deliver to a God that most of us were told about. But we were never given a full description or an image to deliver those prayers to. Most of us just did it by repetition or by family enforcement. And we did it sometimes as we got older as a child and growing adult under stress or threat and without the latitude to question these kind of traditions like the Lord's Prayer. Those things we got as inputs or influences from family, community, church, whatever traditions we just accepted back in the day without question. So we did it. Wasn't a big deal. It got us, to the dinner table, or it got us to the lounge, or we can go out and play after we did our chores. We did those things we had to do. Again, sometimes under stress or threat. Not a big deal, but now I would say quite wrong from where I'm sitting today here in Santa Fe. So when and while we are young, we don't see or have the capacity or exposure to measure the value of doing something because they said so while we are young. But at some point, with enough exposure and discovery, and logic and some level of maturity, we can start questioning with intelligence, with experiences, with different angles to the same thing, but from either higher, lower, or left or right, or different way to look at the things that we're told were just fact. But come to find out, there are other parts of that quote-unquote fact. So we start questioning with intelligence, or best stated, with sincere, original, genuine, and curious questions, organic questions. If you have listened to a few other 820 episodes, you'll notice the consistency and the importance of those types of questions on this journey in resilience, on my journey in resilience that I'm sharing with you. Certainly, even though we may not have described or defined our early development and questions about traditions in terms of resilience, but at some juncture in development, we arrived at that decision point or decision to start making for ourselves. And hopefully from the heart and not from the head. We all individually get to that point differently, but also necessarily. So, back to and forward in this Lord's Prayer discussion today. if you'll allow this summary, please. Many of us tend to call upon the Creator or Lord or God or a prophet for help or deliverance or salvation from a life and death situation. Notice I didn't say life or death. I said life and death situation. In the or condition, you really do not have a choice. As you live, however, you can choose death over and without the life you think as best as you kill yourself. I say kill yourself, meaning when you start lying, cheating, stealing, drinking, smoking, for example. This is not a call out to you. This is to myself, as I'm guilty of many of those example transgressions. As I mentioned to you, and the reason I emphasize the beauty and value and limited time in this present moment, and why I find it important to consider the possibility of dying in this present moment. There's no more or better to get to. There's no yesterday or tomorrow to wait for or lament for. You and I only have here and now. So instead of waiting for and wailing in desperation when that sudden thing happens to you, from outside or inside, I offer you this Lord's Prayer. Quote, write it down if you need to, but it won't be very long. Here is this Lord's Prayer. Quote, thank you for creating me. Thank you for saving me from myself and from what I produced as good, bad, and ugly. Unquote. Pretty simple, short and sweet. No plaintive or wishing or pleading to whoever you choose as your target for your prayer. This is a statement in now, here, while we are alive and facing the ever-present death decision in every day and in every moment. No need to wait until bedtime or when you have a gun to your head or facing eviction or addiction. You can use this as many times and as often as you like during the day or during any moment. Another way to check that internal compass and direction, and a reconnection to that resilience that you had glimpses of before. And now you can actively access that quality on the day with this new Lord's Prayer and say it like it's your last. One more time. Thank you for creating me. Thank you for saving me from myself and from what I produced as good, bad, and ugly. No matter where you are in this world, stay present, stay current. Share that prayer with someone, but share this with them and say this. Hey, you know what time it is? It's always 8:20.